Ladies and gentlemen, despite Donald Trump's How-seow logic yesterday of manipulating the market with his lies, very important to take note that the Straits of Hormuz right now remains choked and Asia is running out of oil. And this is reaching a critical level unseen of. And I think it's very important to know the economic and stock market implication moving forward. Let's watch on, shall we? Before we start, it's important for me to remind you to hit subscribe and to hit a like so that you will get alerted to my other videos and live stream. Things are happening very fluidly now, and you don't want to miss all the timely reports and call to action if there's any that you might miss. So before we start, I think it's important to set the stage that many people actually think that, oh, the war so far away, nothing to do with us. And gradually they are feeling the pinch of it. Our petrol prices are going up dramatically. And now many countries, don't even have enough petrol, diesel, and gas to operate on. So I think this is soon going to be a Asia-wide problem and then later a global problem. And it isn't much later. So first, to start off, yesterday, Trump's announcement that their productive talks with Iran actually crashed the market in terms of the oil prices quite significantly. In matter of minutes, Iran came out and just said, we never talked to that guy smoking weed. And shortly after that, Iran and US continued to strike. US and Israel continue to strike Iran hard, and so there's nothing to talk about. It's all BS. So right now, the flow of oil out of Hormuz is still very, very low, almost a standstill. And right now, we are at the week 4 of the biggest oil supply disruption since 1970. And the countries and the regions that are feeling the most painfully is Asia. So it is not so much how bad you will go, but now how fast you will go to that level. So interestingly, the stock market went up in terms of the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and the Dow actually went up a lot, 2% on average, when Donald Trump came out and said, oh, we have got productive conversation with Iran. And as a result, the Brent crude oil fell by $20. Well, I just want to say that I think in a very short while, the whole world realized that, hey, I think there's some untruth, and Iran is basically flat denying it. Now, the interesting thing is the market, although has initially gone up and now start to fall, okay, it hasn't fallen to the pre-level. So which means that some people are still hoping that what Donald Trump say is correct. I think it's at least that part of it, as said yesterday, was fat hope. Maybe moving forward they will talk, but at least I'm pretty sure what has happened yesterday, I think was just plain fat hope. So oil prices has rebounded within hours, and right now the Brent crude oil has reached $100 already. So it went down all the way $80 over, and right now hit $100 over again, all within a matter of hours. And so the situation has not improved. The IEA 400 million barrel release didn't help much, okay? And of course, right now, the Straits of Hormuz remains choked. Just to be very clear, a lot of energy facilities has been destroyed across many countries in Middle East. Not just US military base being attacked. Military capability, of course, is something that Iran certainly want to take out, but they're attacking all the oil and gas facilities. And so far, we are looking at a massive destruction of many facilities, which means that even if the Straits were to go through right now, the production capability of these places may not return immediately. So I think it's important that we understand the economic flow from the oil shock. Now it will lead to very clearly a higher cost of production, higher cost of logistics, higher cost of flight, higher cost of delivery, higher cost of transport. Now there is also increase in the cost of petrochemicals, fertilizers, chips, helium, and all this. So all this eventually will lead to an inflation spike, even if the war were to stop today, right? So I think that's very important to take note of, that inflation, I think it's not so much will or will not happen. It's a matter of how serious right now. So many countries are facing of supply chokes in terms of oil and gas. Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar all face quite critical level of shortages already. These are the higher tier ones. India certainly have some constraints of a very big level. Philippines right now are imposing 4-day government work week. Okay, air condition no lower than 24 degrees. And this is one of the most vulnerable countries in the world. Vietnam is also facing a similar situation. Cambodia and Laos is totally dependent on Thailand, whom themselves are in trouble as well. So it's running into very severe shortages. Many gas stations are now closed down and so on. So Thailand, South Korea, Taiwan, Indonesia all are experiencing reduced gas supplies, and a lot of them are signaling that some rationing, some energy conservation is necessary right now. The resilient countries are Japan, lots of oil supply, and Japan is now releasing some reserve oil supply already. And Singapore Minister Tan Siling actually claimed that we will have enough to last for months. Okay, but I'm I'm actually still quite skeptical about our energy consumption level. Everywhere in Singapore, everybody is still consuming energy like it's nobody's business, as if nothing is happening globally. Now, Brunei and Malaysia, they got a hell lot of supply of oil. They are net energy exporters. In fact, they are beneficiaries of all this. So I think this is where the least of concern. I hope that even if Singapore were to run short of oil, we could at least get some petrol from Malaysia. Now, the key question is this: how serious can it get? Now, it's very difficult to predict militarily, peace negotiation, what can happen. It's almost impossible to predict what can happen. I can postulate by analyzing that there could be some military operation. The outcome is difficult to analyze. So let's analyze just if the oil shock continues, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, what will happen? Don't need think so much. Within 1 to 4 weeks, every week you will start to feel some difference already. So week 1, in 1 week's time, maybe in a few days' time, we'll see oil prices creeping up to more than $110, $120. And some of the countries will run out of oil. And I think this is a high probability. So inflation will start to creep in the energy related sectors. Week 2, I think there'll be formal rationing of petrol, gas, oil, and things like that in many countries. Airlines and logistic company will heavily pass on costs to the customers. I think this is a very high chance that this thing will happen. And by week 3 from now, we will have industrial disruption all across Asia. I can't tell whether US and Europe will have this problem, but for sure, in Asia, we have disruption. And this disruption will have spillover effect also to the rest of the world because we manufacture quite a bit of things for those countries. So we have got factory slowdown, power shortages. We may have data centers, having disruptions and things like that. So it's quite serious. And by week 4, if this thing don't get resolved, we will have immediately contraction of production in a very massive level, region-wide level. In short, we are seeing recessions, possibilities right now by week 4. So there are already economic research houses are assuming that Asia growth will slow down from 4.6% this year to 4%. So all these are going to happen in a matter of 4 weeks. So I think it is not a matter of will or will not. It's just whether the timing is correct. So what US and Iran will do in the next 1 week will determine the fate of the world in the next 1 month. So are they really going to talk and have peace talk? I don't know. I know the Iranians super don't trust the Americans, and Americans clearly want to eat up the Iranians. It's very, very clear. We have got Trump coming out and say that he wants to rule the Straits of Hormuz together with the Ayatollah. So the Ayatollah, one leg was being, I don't know, I was told he's been amputated, some rumors. So let's say he's heavily, seriously injured. You think he wants to talk to the Americans? His wife got killed, his father got killed by Americans. I think it's just over optimism to think that will happen. Again, remember, we judge Trump by not what he say, but what he do. In fact, I think it's good for us not to hear what he says. Just observe where his troops are moving and things like that. So right now, if they come together and talk, I think that'll be great. Okay. I don't think so. I don't even think it's happening or will happen at least in the next 1 week. I think the military operations will continue. I think there will be an escalation in a massive way. And the Israeli and the Iranians are likely to escalate, and the Iranians are likely to retaliate in a disproportionate level, and the outcome might not look good. So, however, right, it's really hard to say. It also depends on if there is a escalation of conflict, who wins, right? And is it a quick battle or a small battle? So I think tonight we shall watch the development. I will give you a scenario now, not so much what the Americans and the Israelis will do, that we have analyzed quite in detail. I think it's time that we analyze what are the course of action for Iranians, so that when all these scenarios are clear to us, there will be implication to the stock market. And once that scenario happens, you know immediately how to react. Okay. So I think that's what we'll do tonight, analyzing the course of action that the Iranians will take, given that they now know what the Americans are likely to do. So the bottom line is every day right now is critical. Every day, maybe every few hours is now critical. What exactly happened? This is a blow by blow energy sensitive period, and a blow by blow stock market energy sensitive period as well. I wouldn't be too concerned about some of this fluctuation. Of course, if the fluctuation went downwards to a level which I think I will fire shots, I will fire big time. But if I don't, I just watch where it goes. Okay, opportunistically, I would take advantage of the market in my favor. But however, at this point in time, it's more important to look at economy, the economics of all this war that's happening. So let's keep a close, tight look on all these things. I'll see you tonight in a live stream around 11 p.m. Okay, thank you, and we'll see you tonight. Bye bye.